It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. Shout to the Trucker John live stream, on a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. The Trucker John live stream is gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come on for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch him out, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's a good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little
2025 is rooted in Christian nationalism. We all know that Donald Trump is not religious. I doubt he's ever opened a Bible. But Trump is surrounded by religious extremists. As long as they give him power, he'll give them their policies, just like he did when he overturned Roe v. Wade. The man who is rumored to be chief of staff in a second Trump administration is a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist. In Project 2025, they're already planning to ban abortion nationwide, ban IVF, ban contraception. They're even talking about banning what they call recreational sex. In my view, this is the Christian Taliban. They are perverting my Christian faith and subverting our American democracy. For those in blue states, Project 2025 is theoretical. But for those of us living in red states, Project 2025 is already here. I know what's coming because I see it every day at the Texas Capitol. Banning books, banning abortion, forcing every teacher to display the 10 Commandments, replacing school counselors with untrained, unsupervised religious chaplains, defunding public schools to subsidize private Christian schools, teaching Bible stories in our state curriculum as historical fact. We are sleepwalking toward theocracy in this country, and we must all act with the urgency that this moment demands.
Acknowledging the unprecedented nature of the case, Mr. Trump would be the first felon to serve as president. The prosecutors raised the prospect of a 4-year freeze. The judge, Juan Merchan, will now decide in the coming weeks whether to freeze the case or dismiss it outright. Dismissing the case would further embolden Mr. Trump as he enters his second presidential term, solidifying an aura of invincibility around him. I gotta be honest, I am one pissed off prosecutor. I am one angry American. This is not a failure of the rule of law. This is a failure of the people who administer the rule of law. It's the people who distort and corrupt and pervert the rule of law. This bullshit is directly attributable to the Supreme Court justices who ignore and violate the plain language and meaning of the Constitution in their determination to protect a criminal president. That's why the rule of law is failing. They are why the rule of law is failing.
For as long as I live, I never want to hear another word from a Trump supporter about DEI, affirmative action, or meritocracy after they voted for Donald Trump to be the first person ever elected president with no experience in government or military, voted for him again in 2024 as the first convicted felon ever elected president, allowed J.D. Vance to become vice president with no experience in elected office until last year, and now picked a white Fox News host to replace a black 4-star general as Secretary of Defense. And for Attorney General, the nation's top law enforcement officer, they picked an insurrectionist who had to abruptly resign from Congress this week to stop the release of an ethics report after allegations of misappropriating campaign funds for personal expenses, illegal drug use, sharing sex videos on the House floor, sleeping with a 17-year-old, and child sex trafficking. It's not about qualifications. America has never cared about qualifications or meritocracy. For white people, they only bring that up with black people, women, and any other group of people they dislike at the moment. If you're a straight white male or politically conservative, they couldn't care less about your qualifications. And don't give me any lip about women and people of color in the Republican Party. They are an afterthought who only exist to own the libs and must subscribe to the GOP's hierarchy of patriarchal white supremacy. This is how Republicans play identity politics. If Democrats get a woman, they'll find a woman. If Democrats get a black person, they'll find a black person. As long as the woman or black person follows their narrow conservative political beliefs, the qualifications don't matter. That's why they picked unqualified Clarence Thomas to replace the legendary Thurgood Marshall in the Supreme Court in 1991. Why they picked unqualified Alan Keyes, a random black guy from Maryland, to run against Barack Obama for the U.S. Senate seat in Illinois in 2004. Why they rushed to find unqualified Sarah Palin from Alaska after Senator Hillary Clinton got 18 million votes in 2008. Why they rammed through Amy Coney Barrett after only 3 years as a judge to replace the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the nation's highest court before the presidential election in 2020. And why they picked retired football player Herschel Walker to run against Senator Raphael Warnock for U.S. Senate in 2022. Vice President Kamala Harris had federal, state, and local experience and worked with all three branches of government, and they still called her unqualified. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson graduated from Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law, clerked for Supreme Court Justice, served on the U.S. Sentencing Commission, a federal district court, and a federal appellate court, was the first former public defender to join the U.S. Supreme Court, and had more experience than any other justice in the court when they were nominated. but they still claim she was unqualified. They called the duly elected mayor of Baltimore the DEI mayor just because he was black and happened to be in office at the time of bridge collapse. And they called Biden's entire cabinet a DEI cabinet just because he picked experienced, qualified leaders who weren't all straight white men. This is the delusional brainwashing of white supremacy. And for the Tim Scotts and Byron Donalds and black and brown enablers who occupy the lowest plank of the totem pole in the Republican Party, don't think they won't come for you if you ever dare to grow a backbone and step out of line. To paraphrase Jay-Z's use of the N-word in a way that won't get me censored on this platform, light black, dark black, faux black, real black, rich black, poor black, house black, field black, still black.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Wow. What was that? Why was that? That wasn't supposed to be there. That was me earlier. Well, when I was getting dressed, getting out of the shower, and that, I don't know why that was on there. That's embarrassing as hell. If you guys saw that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to delete the show immediately. Oh wow, that was weird. That was embarrassing. I don't know how that happened. Because I took a shower and I started the show, then I went and got dressed. But that part wasn't on. I don't know. I don't get it. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, I didn't get a haircut though. I did not. I ran out of time. All right, guys. So, Jolie, you are first. Yes, you're first in the chat. Good to see Jolie. Thank you for being here. We got Tamara Price, Michael McAndrews is here, Aaron West. So we're at full mod capacity, or yeah, full mod strength, I guess it is. Pamela's here. Hello, Pamela. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini, Jim Adelberg's here. Thanks for being here. Those little videos there to begin the show, just to illustrate, I guess, what's going to be happening, what we have to look forward to. Project 2025, the dismantling of American democracy as we know it. Then, of course, having a first time ever having a convicted felon as our president, who was impeached, 2-time impeached, and a felon. And then also just the incredible double standards, the no diversity, no really representation in the cabinet and his picks. Just incredible, more and more hypocrisy. That's what we have to look forward to just in the immediate future. And who knows how it's all going to unfold. Aaron West, did you get a haircut? No, I didn't have a chance. All of a sudden, it was like time to go. That time went fast between the show. Anyhow, thanks for being here. We had an early show. Now we're having a little kind of impromptu Tuesday afternoon show. Hit the share button. There might be some sparklers out there that want something to do. Hal, as far as I know, Hal's not on. He's doing his singing a show down in Hollywood, down there in Hollywood. So yeah, let the other sparklers know if they want to have a place to hang. We're going to hang for a couple hours right here. Maybe some more beefcake. That was beefcake. If you saw that earlier, that was no charge. That was free of charge. Little beefcake shot there. Hey, Michael McAndrews, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Time flies. Yeah, 8 whole months. It's been great. And glad to have you as a member. And Aaron West, 7 months as a member. Thank you so much, Aaron. I do appreciate you. Not only being a member, being a moderator, along with Jolie. Jolie says, happy truckiversary. Yeah, there you go. Nick Rich, I got to see the last 5 minutes of Johnny Million's live stream. I was watching part of that, the first part of Johnny Million, and he was shredding today. He was doing some serious shredding, as the kids say. Mad Max says Blood Alley was a movie they made us watch in driver's ed in high school. It showed crashes and death to scare us to drive straight. Yeah, and that is in that opening too. And that was actual footage of me on the road as a truck driver, and there was a wreck going on. You don't really see the wreck and stuff, but it's just, but you do see, I think there was some emergency vehicles and stuff. Mad Max Orange Felon is going to destroy America. He's going to try, man. Right off the bat, tariffs. Things are going to go, prices are going to get really, really high. Really, really quick. People, you thought eggs were expensive? You ain't seen nothing yet. Donald Trump says, hold my beer. You thought prices were high under Biden? Hold my beer. Across the board tariffs for everyone. You get a tariff, and you get a tariff, and you get a tariff. Hey, Kimchi. Kimchi's here. Good to see you. Says, hi, beautiful genius mother truckers. Hugs. Trucker John, gorgeous Jolie, and beautiful Mistress Erin. Thank you, Kimchi. Always good to see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tim Farrell says, Glenn was wrong about everything, unfortunately. And that's why he's so pissed off. I'd be pissed off, too, if I were him. Denise Wilkins, hey, Trucker John. Hello, everybody. I missed you here in the past few weeks. Busy time for me. I tend to family all over the state. Hey, Denise. Well, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us whenever you got a chance. And yeah, I realize people are busy and got family stuff, and you've got, you're helping family. So, hey, family first. And I'm just glad you're okay, hopefully, and everything's going well, and you can hang out with us for a little bit. Let's see here. Teresa TAK is here. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Robert Perez. Good to see you, Robert. Howdy, Trucker John, and all truckers out and about. Got Pamela here, Janelle Walker, Tim Farrell, everybody. Everybody, how you doing? How y'all doing this beautiful afternoon? We're just a couple days from Thanksgiving. What are you guys doing out there? You guys traveling? This is supposed to be the biggest travel day in the history of travel days. I guess price of eggs notwithstanding. People have enough money to get on airplanes and trains and automobiles and go to Thanksgiving. Damn the eggs. Pamela Topless John. I know. I am going to burn this show. Since we're done, I'm burning it. It will not be available. Tim Farrell says, I'd sit in the back if you were dressed that way, John. No worries about it. Right. I wouldn't blame you one bit either. Jim Elberg, are we supposed to tip for the shirtless pic? Hey, if you want to, Magic Mike ain't got nothing on me. Denise, wait, what did I miss? I'm 10 things at once over here. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. Robert Perez, the money shot. Ben Mac. Oh, hair is just washed then. Janelle Russia Spies. Josh nipple tassels. And I didn't even have my what do you call it? On. Oliver Randall, give me a head with hair. Long, beautiful hair. Hair everywhere. Say how says Mad Mag, missed you at Johnny Million. Johnny Million was shredding, man. He was shredding today. I'm just scrolling down here. WW is here. Hey, W, good to see you. Stephanie B2, good to see you. Stephanie B2 says prices are already going high in anticipation, and also because they have to pay a living wage, having to get rid of immigrants on their farms. Yeah, I think Walmart's already said that. Hey, I'm going to be raising prices. All those Walmart shoppers, Walmart shoppers, your attention, please. Our prices are going up. Sayha says, well, thanks for dropping by, Mad Mac. Jolie reminds everyone, like, subscribe, and share. Jimmy Roberts is here. David Windler, I see a stock market drop, hopefully. I haven't checked it lately. I don't know. It seems like it's still humming along. Humming along. Josh, he's an international tariffist. Michael McAndrews, remember when the Reagan's administration pal, what's his name? Paper shredded his documents, and then paper shredders were promoted on the TV and in stores everywhere. I don't. Kim She says, just got home from supporting my ungrateful, whiny, entitled, repuke, disabled sister in her hour of need, exhausted. Wow. Well, you did your thing. You did your part. You did, and then it's on them, Hey, Jimmy Roberts, good to see you. Big Dog NC is here. Good to see Big Dog, the Big Dog. Diane Capabianco is here. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on into the old driver's lounge here. If you guys want to hang out for a bit while, for most of us, a lot of us in here, we would be what's known as sparklers. And Hal's off today. So if you just have a place, you need to have a place to hang out for a bit, come on over. As I read chats. I read chat, and it's chats, and I go off on the occasional tangent. So you just never know. I might go off on a tangent. Aaron West, I'm kitty sitting for Thanksgiving. Let everyone else travel. Sayhouse says, I'm going to tank here with a big reboot and 5-drive system. Reset, be back in a few. Okay. You do that. WW says, cousin is a AA customer rep for AA in Charlotte. It is always chaos. Yeah, but they are reporting this is going to be the biggest amount of travel ever. It's traditionally big, but this is going to break records. Tawada 106, playing all the smooth jazz at Tawada 106. I wish we could have Thanksgiving tacos. Who says you can't? You make you some Thanksgiving tacos. You do that. No one's going to judge you. Not here in this chat room. We're not going to judge you. In fact, I think that sounds delicious. WW says, not enough controllers showed up in Newark. Airlines are delayed all around New York. Wow. Kim Shi, I only tip for the whole mic. I mean, Monty. Hey, Jim Allenbarg. $2 nip tip. All right, thanks. I appreciate that, Jim. I'm going to have to do that more often. I don't know. Bob Newell, you said nipple. David Windler, hey, Kimchi. Mad Mac, you got to spend it before Orange Felon tries to take it all, bro. You got a Screamer PC now. Oh, that was for Seha. Walter Makarovich, good afternoon, Trugger. Happy early Thanksgiving to you. I think he's baiting us. He's not going to raise tariffs 30% to Canada and Mexico. I just got a feeling he's baiting us. Baiting us for what? What's the bait? What is he luring us into? Maybe as a distraction? As a distraction for all the other shit he's going to do? Kathy Hessen, hey from Canada. Hello, Kathy, and I apologize on behalf of my fellow Americans for whatever harm Donald Trump may do to your country. Walter Bakarovich for a fight. I don't know what that means. I was just looking. Mr. Bob Newell says your microphone is lit, and I was wondering, can you see the little light? But I guess it's trying to be, hip and cool. Big Dog Nancy says, I can hear Trucker John in both hearing aids tonight. Earlier, I only got it in one side. Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad you're getting from both sides there, but that didn't sound right. But you know what I mean. Mad Mac, I saw hair on Broadway. Yeah, they got all naked at the end too. Wow. Those were the days, weren't they? When people would just get naked. Diane Capabianco, Hal isn't doing a show tonight. No, he is doing he's doing a show in Hollywood, but he's not doing a live stream. He's performing. He does his what do they call it? Something about nights. I should know this shit. But he goes down once a month? Yeah, once a month, right? To do his deal down there at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, and so he just took today off. But they're doing a big, turning it into like a big fundraiser for he was explaining how, the guy who kind of runs it and organizes that is going under cancer treatment, and they're doing sort of a big kind of fundraiser for him to help him with the cost of all that and everything. And so it may have required, because that guy's not there. He's getting taking care of himself in his cancer treatments. So I suspect Hal might be doing a lot more of the organizing now, because how he kind of can do anything. But anyhow, they're busy. He's busy down there in Hollywood. So no show today for Hal. I believe he's going to be on tomorrow, though. I believe he'll be on tomorrow, regular 9 a.m. Pacific time show in the morning. No show Thursday, no show Friday, and then he'll be back for his radio, WCPT radio, mega worldwide show on Saturday. And I'm planning, of course, doing the Hal Sparks after show hangout on Saturday. I was thinking I will probably go on tomorrow, even though Wednesday is not my regular day for me. I'll probably go on sometime tomorrow because I'm not going to be on Thursday or Friday because of Thanksgiving, and I don't usually do Fridays anyhow. But no shows Thursday. Thursdays we're going to all celebrate Thanksgiving. Okay, one way or the other. Whether you're traveling, not traveling, whether you have a big feast and have a bunch of family over, or whether you just say, fuck it, I'm not cooking, I'll just get pizza or whatever, and you go see a movie, whatever. All that shit is fine, and it's acceptable, and you can have a good time no matter how you do it. It doesn't have to be the traditional, everyone sits down to the turkey dinner and all that shit, and whatever turns you on, man. And as long as it's, but I do hope that everyone has an opportunity to be with some family or some friends or any combination thereof. And whether you just want to watch football games, and have, like I say, pizza and beer. I mean, you don't have to have a turkey and a ham and, green bean casserole. Everyone does that, right? And all that stuff. You don't, you do it. You can do it your way, but I hope that it's a good time for everyone just to chill out and enjoy some moments together with your family and friends. To me, that's what it's all about. Let's see. Mad Max says, yeah, there was a lot of hair in places you wish you didn't see back in them days. Yeah, especially, huh? Let's see. Diane Bianco says, took a break from decorating inside the house for Christmas. My favorite holiday, and I love to decorate. Jimmy Roberts says, when you tip at a restaurant, should you tip for the tax and the meal price? I don't. I don't. I just look at what the total is before the tax. That's how I do it. And it probably doesn't amount to much difference. And I usually do 20% just because it's easier math. You know what I mean? Because I can just double 10% twice, and then I'm done. Um, Kimchi says 2 out of my job is done. Let's see. Diane Bianco, good to see you too. Trucker John, hope you're doing well. I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there. Hope you guys are all doing good. Stephanie B2, hello, dear Jolie. Have my hands full trying to make lunch. And carry Teddy around. Bag in front of me. All right. You take care. Walter McGarris, the Rams let me down the other night. Yeah, well. And the Cowboys, that was a wild game against the Commanders. They almost lost that, and they hung on. That was a pretty wild game. Wild game. WW says, if I share, it might draw trolls if you want to have some fun. I don't care. Just share the show. We'll deal with the trolls as they come in. That's what I got Jolie and Aaron for. WW, Turkey Tacos. Diane Capabianco says, next Thanksgiving, food prices will be sky high. No one will be able to afford it. Yeah, next year it might be just the pizza and beer Thanksgiving. It's like, yeah. Or it might just be beer. I don't know. Mini nitrous, trucker sparklers, or as it's been called, trucklers. You know, that was one of the very first suggestions way back when I was trying to come up with names for you guys, and someone suggested trucklers, and so yeah, I like that one. I like it. Hey, Pat Ludwig is here. Hey, Pat, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's house. We're just shooting the shit. We're hanging out. We're just doing a hang. You chat, I read it back to you. Diane Capabianco says, I'm so disappointed in America. I was so hopeful would elect their first woman president, but no, racism and misogyny won. I know, man. I'm right there with you, Diane. I thought for sure Kamala was going to win. I really did. I didn't think she was going to lose, and I'm still wondering how she lost. You know, Mary T. What about ye, Trucker John? What about me about Thanksgiving? Yeah, I'm going to go down and spend it with my daughter and with her boyfriend's mom and our family. And my ex will be there, I'm pretty sure. My son is going to be going with his wife to their family. So we're kind of split up this year, and it's not anything bad, or it's not like, you know, because we're mad at each other. It's just the way it works out. You know, we can't always be everywhere or whatever. So, you know, sometimes you got to say 1 year I'll do this, and the next year I'll do that. You know, you kind of alternate or whatever. So, we always just kind of play it, you know, year by year, year by year, year by year. But and then I'll probably be spending some time with my son. Maybe when they get home that night or the next day, we'll hang out. So I'll get to see my son and my daughter, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Zerkov, Trucker John OnlyFans, yeah. Christina Weibel's cancer sucks. It does. Sucks out loud. Keith Polite says America's willfully ignorant hordes are Achilles heel. Yep, and that's why, you know, we got to try and chip away the best we can to get more and more of the willfully ignorant into being willfully not ignorant. WW says 79 watching, 19 chatters. That's not bad for an unscheduled show. You have a fan club. Damn right I do, Wes Webb. Or, I mean, WW. Sorry. If I outed you, people are going, is WW Wes Webb? I didn't know that. Big Dog says, click that like. Yeah, I got 94 watching and 20 thumbs ups. That's what my device is showing. And on my phone, it's showing. My phone says 83. Yeah, so my phone and my iPad have the same amount watching. But the thumbs up one, it seems like it's always not. It's always behind or whatever. I don't know. But anyhow, hit the thumbs up just in case. 70B2 says most of the rest of my family and his are MAGA. That sucks. And I mean, every family does their own thing, and if I think the important thing for Thanksgiving is, I don't know, you call a truce, you agree not to talk politics, and you just try to, especially if you're like blood relatives, and especially if you're like brothers and sisters or parents and stuff like that, and kids, and like adult kids, whatever. I mean, I think it's important to try to put all this political shit, aside, and show you and your family that blood is thicker than water, but when we start going down the path of totalitarianism, it's hard to kind of forgive that, I guess. Diane Capabianco says, Big Dog, I wonder who will be the Democrat running for president in 2028. Midterms are in 2028. Okay, I should stop a little bit for that. I shouldn't run that on. Midterms will be here before you know it, and then presidential race starts. Yeah, it will be. So right now, I'm really concentrating and putting my focus on 2026. I'm not even ready to think about 2028 yet. I think we've got plenty of time to think about that. We really need to concentrate on 2026, and we need to do everything we can to make sure we have elections in 2026. Now, I think, of course, all the blue states we will. It's the red states we got to watch out for, because they will continue to cheat and obstruct and try to purge, voters off of the voting rolls and all that stuff. That is really going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, but we've got to, we got to keep at it. Keep going, man. Mary T says, I don't think he'll go through with the tariffs, but he should be dared to. Yeah, who knows? If it might be one of those things where he thought it sounded good during the campaign, and most of the MAGA morons, they didn't even know what a tariff was, and he misrepresented it. He lied about it, what a tariff was, made it sound like, say for instance, if he was doing a 60% tariff on China, that China was going to give us, the United States, all this money. Or something, and that's not how it works. And so now, okay, so he's the president elect. He's going to be president, a couple months here, and so he kind of has to keep up with that narrative for a bit. But then once he becomes president, then is he going to just drop it and go, yeah? I don't know, because I don't really see why he would do it unless he really wants to tank the economy, and then just blame that on Biden, I guess. I don't know. I guess he's got to have some excuse when we go into a recession again, when he keeps lowering taxes on the millionaires and billionaires. and finances that on the backs of the working class and middle class and poor, maybe when he does all these tariffs and further destroys the economy, he'll probably just say something like, "Oh, this is the results of the last administration, and it took that time for it to catch up," or something like that. Big Dog says, "I can probably guess it won't be a woman. National Democrats think putting up a woman was the problem." Well, I mean, it seems that way when when you look at some of the numbers, but I really think if Kamala Harris had more time to campaign, I think that might have made the difference. She might have been able to win over just enough people to beat Trump, because in this popular vote, it's very, very close. And amongst the swing states, it's a couple 100,000 votes spread out amongst the battleground states that made the difference. If she had 6 months instead of 3 months, maybe that would have done it. So maybe it wasn't just misogyny, but I mean, I know that's one of the first things I thought. It was misogyny and racism. But because I tell you, man, when you think about the campaigns, and you think about their rallies and their campaign stops and everything, and I've said this before, but Kamala Harris, there was so much excitement and electricity in the crowd, and it was very much like Obama. I mean, as far as just everyone being excited and happy and really on board with in this case, Kamala Harris, but it was very reminiscent of Obama, and I thought even more so. I thought the excitement was even bigger than Obama. And then you see that, like the RNC, and how pathetic that was. That people were falling asleep. The place was half empty, and you see you saw Trump's campaigns. People were leaving. People were getting bored with them. He was getting smaller and smaller crowds, and he was just really he was fading fast, old Trump there. And how could you not, if you were paying attention to that and watching that, how could you not think that Kamala Harris was going to win? I mean, there was no way. If you were watching those two campaigns, there's no way you would think that Kamala Harris wasn't winning. Those campaigns were as different as between night and day. I mean, so it just doesn't make sense. It goes back to, like I said this morning, so many people not even paying attention at all to any of this stuff that we do here in this chat. We watch the rallies, we watch the clips, we watch all that shit. So many people, they don't even care until it's too late. And that's why the day after the election, they're Googling, what's a tariff? And can I change my vote? Is it too late for me to change my vote? That's those are the things that were being Googled. Anyhow, Denise Wilkins says, I have a sister issue also. She voted for Trump and she has lupus, and she isn't a dumb person, but she was confused about Obamacare and affordable health care. She thought they were two different things. And in retrospect, once again, hindsight is 2020. And at the time when the Affordable Care Act was being legislated and was being going through Congress and debated, and it was in the news, and Obama was talking about it, and the Republicans, how they like to come up with their names for stuff, they called it Obamacare. They're the ones that called it Obamacare. The Republicans in Congress. They're the ones that came up with that shit. So Obama, and what I thought was a smart thing to do, it's probably what I would have done. He said, okay, you want to call it Obamacare? We'll call it Obamacare. And he just started calling it Obamacare. And then everyone started calling it Obamacare. Perhaps, in hindsight, that was the wrong thing to do. Because it did create that confusion amongst people and who don't pay attention to all that shit. Like you and I, we probably watched the news and we watched all that shit back in 2008 or whatever, or 2009, 2000, in 2009. We watched all that shit, so we knew the difference between. We knew Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act was the same. But if you're not paying close attention and you're not really watching that shit, then I could see how you would be confused. So looking back on it, that was probably a mistake that Obama made when he just said, "Okay, I'll just take it and run with it." They want to call it Obamacare, okay. That was his way of saying, I'm not going to be offended by that. I'm not going to let them, trigger me or whatever. I'll just go with it. We'll just run with it. And at the time, I thought, yeah, that was pretty clever. That he really showed them. He showed the Republicans. You want to call it a name. You want to use my name and try to make it sound like a pejorative by calling it Obamacare. Well, I'll just take that and run with it. And I thought that was a good idea at the time. But I guess it really wasn't. Because, it's another thing of kind of underestimating the amount of ignorance in this country. Because that's what it is. It's ignorance. And I guess there's all kinds of ignorance, but in most cases, I just look at ignorance as just being uninformed, and and there's all kinds of willfully uninformed or whatever. But anyhow, and looking back, perhaps we should have just called it the Affordable Health Care Act. But that's what happens when you're dealing with these Republicans that, especially led by Mitch McConnell and all this, going back to 2009, the first thing they said is our number one goal is to make Obama a one-term president, and they were going to be obstructionists right from the get-go. And so, even though the Democrats and President Obama was all on board with the Affordable Care Act, and even though a lot of that was designed after some Republican proposals, Republican ideas, they weren't going to, for the most part, back it or behind, or so they were going to call it. They were going to call it, Obamacare. But in hindsight, maybe we should have emphasized that Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. And I can remember even back then in 2009 and 2010, you would see like on Jimmy Kimmel or whoever, Colbert or whatever, and they would do sort of that man in the street type of thing, and they would say, "Are you for this? Are you for that?" And then they would go, "Oh yeah, like are you in favor of pre-existing conditions being eliminated? Oh yeah. Are you? I don't know, just all these things they would list. They were all basically in the Affordable Care Act. And then as soon as they said, "Do you know that do you know that that's Obamacare or something?" And then they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want that." Oh, as soon as they heard it was Obamacare, it's like, "Nah, I don't. Ugh, no." See, that's how fucking stupid people are. They cut their noses off to spite their face. That's how stupid they are. Just because they didn't like Obama, they liked the policy, but they didn't like Obama, and they don't like if there's any D letter, the capital D associated with it. You take that away, and you just talk about policies. They're all on board. Same thing happened this year. Same thing with this election. You know, people are all in favor of a lot of the stuff that Kamala Harris is for, but then when you put her name onto it, it's like, oh no, oh no. Krista's here. Hey, Krista, good to see you. We got Steph Shack here. Mary T is here. Good to see you. Let me just scroll down a little bit. I know I was talking there, so I missed a lot of stuff in the chat. Diane Russell's here. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on into the chat room. Doing a hang. Thanks for hanging with us. Stephanie McFadden's here. Hi. Thank you for the welcome. You are welcome for the welcome. WW just shared on Facebook. Jolie knows my trolls, I think. Colleen Turpin says, hey, Chucker John. Hello, Colleen. Good to see you. Diane Russell, remember, it's me, Diane, of the two kitties, not the guitar player. Right, right. Diane Russell of the two kitties. Thanks for being here, Diane. Let's see, we got David Windler. Been here for a while. I'm just reading some names as I scroll down a little bit here. Pat Ludwig. Pat Ludwig is here. Kimchi, no, we can merely disagree about the worth of other humans. I know. I'm just, each family dynamic is different, is all I'm saying. And so if you're able to have a good time with your family, have a good time with your family. But if things are to the point where being with them is just going to create more turmoil and more stress, then it's not worth the stress, I don't think. And go be with people. Go be with people that you're going to have a good time with. That's all I'm saying. Walter Makarovich says, Trucker John, we must attack MAGA in a different way. Make him call his bluff, tweet when he actually does it, then get him. Yeah, because the way we've been doing it hasn't been working, huh, Walter? That's for sure. We have to try a new tact. Christina Weibel says, I can't when I know that even my own sister voted for me and my dad to lose our health care and our Social Security. Can't forgive that. I know. Okay. I get you. I totally get you. I do. Let's see. I'm scrolling on down. Randy Nitrous, I'm not planning on buying anything big. Yeah. Let's not get stressed out. Let's remember the importance, I think. Traditionally, before Trump has changed our lives so immensely for the worse. Never in my life did I ever go any amount of time where my brother and sister and I, wouldn't talk to each other. Never until Trump. So, and that story, I've heard that story repeated over and over and over by other people and people in this chat and people all over that they have brothers and sisters and close family members and close friends that they have not spoken to since 2016. That's the Donald Trump legacy. Destroying families, destroying relationships. And a lot of those relationships will never be restored, I don't think. Some will, but not all. Josh says he'll blame Joe Obama. Stephanie McFadden, they all vote against their interest. That's right, against their own best interests. Kim Shi, he will proclaim that immediately he fixed the border just by speaking. No need for tariffs. See how that works. Yeah, and his lemmings will believe every word that comes out of his orange pie hole. You know? Stephanie B2, wasn't the border crossings the lowest they have been last month? I don't know the exact stats, but they've been low. They've been lower and lower and lower. This so-called invasion at the border, it's all trumped up. It's trumped up. Nick Rich, tariffs are taxes on consumers. Big Dog says, I have a sister, or no, I have a starter pack pinned on my page. Lots of great people, including Nick Rich, Trucker John, and Fancy. Thanks, Big Dog. Yeah, I did check. Big Dog, I am over 800 followers over there on Blue Sky. So thanks to everyone who's followed me and over there. You can share, I guess, over there, however things are done at Blue Sky. Christina Weibel says the machines were infected with malware. John, Occupy Democrats did a video about this tonight. Yeah, we need to find out more about that and how that worked out. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. The bomb calls, bomb threats. They were called the purging of voters. Lots of stuff, man. Gianni Pie's here. Hey, Gianni, good to see you. Jenny says, sucks so much. I understand billions of retirement accounts have been taken out since the election. Wow. Alvin Stoobs here. Hey, Alvin, good to see you. Thanks for checking in here at the old Driver's Lounge. Krista, hey, Krista's here. Krista says, Sugar John, the time to study for a test is before you take the test, not after, regarding googly tariffs. Yeah, exactly. A little late. And there is no retest until, the next election, which is a whole new election. That's not a retest. That's a new whole thing. You know what I mean? 72. My mother cousin even admitted she does not watch any of his rallies. I don't pay attention to any of that. See, and that's the thing. I think your mother cousin is in probably the majority of voters on both sides and independents or whatever. They don't want to pay attention to any of that. They don't. They get a little snippet here, a little snippet here. They're basing their opinion on Donald Trump from 2004. They don't know about the 34 felonies. They don't know about the rapes. They don't know about the interfering with elections in Georgia. They don't know about him giving away top secret military secrets to the Russians, taking top secret documents out of the White House and storing them in his bathroom. They don't know about any of that shit. They don't, because they don't care and they don't follow it and they don't watch it. They watch soap operas and reruns of Vicki Lawrence's That's My Mama or whatever the fuck. They don't care. And all I get is little snippets here and little snippets there. And the one that they heard the most of was Donald Trump. He's got more name recognition. That's what I was saying this morning. That's why Kamala Harris lost, I believe. I know we've got talks about malware and all this kind of stuff, but I really truly believe that if Kamala Harris had 6 months to campaign, she would have won. And I know there's some people who want to blame Joe Biden for even running in the first place for re-election. But like I said in previous shows, Joe Biden was doing a great job. They were comparing him to FDR, for Christ's sakes. Okay, and he did do a great job. He's, 16 million new jobs created under his watch. More jobs than any other president in history. We were seeing numbers come in that we haven't seen in half a century in our economy. We are the envy of the world for our economy. So when Joe Biden decided to run for re-election, I don't remember not one soul saying anything. And now you've got a lot of people saying, I knew he shouldn't have ran. And I say to you, show me the tape, motherfucker, because I don't believe you. I think you're full of shit. I don't remember one person coming out way back when Joe Biden announced he was going to run for re-election. I don't remember one fucking soul saying, no, don't do it. I remember people saying, this is the best economy we've had in 50 years. Joe Biden is, he's way more progressive than I thought he was going to be. He's like FDR. He's an FDR president. That's what I remember hearing. And it wasn't until that debate 4 months ago when he came out and he looked very old and very frail and very lost against Trump, who lied about every fucking thing he said, but he lied loudly. Which just shows how stupid American people are, the American voters are, because they will take the word of a loud liar over that of a quiet truth teller. And that's pretty sad. Because that just shows how fucking stupid we are as a country. We have no critical thinking skills. We have no way, we have no ability to discern, and take in the difference between what we're seeing and what we're hearing. We saw Trump, he was big and loud and boisterous, and he still looked like shit, but he didn't look frail or anything like that. And then you had Joe, who looked really, really frail. I thought that's the way I described it. He looked frail, and his voice was you could barely hear him. And that it was bad imaging. But he didn't tell any lies, and Trump lied through the whole fucking thing. And yet, that's who many people thought that Trump won that debate. So it wasn't until that debate that the shit hit the fan, and he started getting pressured out by Nancy Pelosi and George Clooney and all these assholes. And then the donors started drying up, the big donors, and that's when it was over for Joe Biden. But not, 18 months ago or whatever it was when he decided to run. Don't come at me with your revisionist history. Everybody was in love with Joe Biden. Best economy in 50 years, everyone was saying, and had the stats to back it up. Created more jobs, 16 million jobs, more jobs than any other president ever in the history of America, combined. I don't know about combined, but ever. So we can say woulda, shoulda, coulda, but just know this: hindsight is 20/20. And going into election night, I thought our chances were really, really, really good. Really, really good. Basing just off of what I saw with my own two eyes, seeing those two campaigns and how different they were, and how one was so, like I said, effervescent and electric and exciting and happy and joyful. And of course, I'm talking about Kamala Harris' campaign. And the other one was a snooze fest, and it was pathetic. And it was full of hatred. It was full of deportation now signs. and it was just full of you know, these sycophants that were just obviously just sucking up to Trump, just hoping that if he did win, that they would get a nice, place in his cabinet or whatever. I mean, it was just, and the crowd, the places were half full. I mean, like you say, so we got the malware thing. We've got a lot of things that it just doesn't wash. It just doesn't smell right. But whether or not there was actual vote tampering, I don't know. I think there was misinformation. I think there was disinformation. I think there was Russian involvement as far as the bomb threats, and then whatever they do with their disinformation campaigns. And I think there's just a total overall apathy, voter apathy, or and in the sense that not only of not voting, but in the sense that being uninformed, being so goddamned uninformed. And we can blame the mainstream media all day long and all that. And yeah, they're part of it too. They're part of the problem. But like the earlier this morning, the clip I played by, what's his name, Colin Farrell or whatever his name is. That's not his name, but whatever that guy's name is. So many people were putting the information out there. The Rachel Maddows, of course, I mean, and then you got, the House Sparks, the Midas Brothers and the Midas Touch folks, Brian Tyler Cohen, Randy Rhodes, whatever. I mean, there were so many people putting out the information, getting out about what the economists were saying that Trump would do with his plans and how it would it would destroy the economy and put us into a recession, if not a depression, and that it would increase costs for average consumers, at least $4,000, $4,600 a year. And that's a lot of money when most people can't even afford a $400 emergency. And now you're going to add another $4,600 onto their living expenses. So that's huge. The information was there. It was being presented by Trucker John, for God's sakes. And, I joke about me, but, there's so many big platforms where it was being put out there. And like you say, the time to take the test is before the test, not after. But they don't give a fuck. They think that voting doesn't mean anything. They think that politics doesn't mean anything. They think that whoever the president is doesn't mean anything. They really do. A lot of these people think that it doesn't matter. It's more than just the both sides do it. It is a lot like the both sides are the same type of a thing. But it's even worse than that because they think that it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all who the president is. That it's not going to. They think it's not going to affect you. It's not going to matter to you in one little bit. It will not matter. Whoever the president is, it doesn't matter. You will not feel it. That's what people think. I've heard people say that. It doesn't matter who the president is. It's not going to affect you in your everyday life. That's what people say. And I think that's the majority of the voting age people. They don't give a fuck. They think it doesn't matter. It won't matter. And that's the problem. That's the problem. We gotta let them know that it does matter. And so when this shit starts going down in 2025, when Trump takes office and things start getting really shitty really quick, it's going to be up to us to make sure that the blame gets placed in its proper place. That the blame gets laid right at the feet of Donald Trump. And that Trump and all his sycophants and his MAGA followers don't get away with blaming Joe Biden for whatever's going to happen in 2025 and 2026 and onward. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to try anything bad that happens, they're going to try to blame it on Biden or even Kamala Harris, she was the vice president and had nothing really to do with setting policy. She didn't sign anything. She didn't sign any bills. So that's what we're up against. We're not going to get everybody to care. We're not going to get everyone. But if we can get just the amount we need, then let's do it. I mean, let's get people educated. Let's get people informed. Let's get people to care. Let's stop with this apathy. And let's stop with this attitude that it doesn't matter. Because it does matter. And we see it over and over again. In my lifetime, we've seen how it matters. Every single time there's a Republican in the White House, we go into a recession. Our unemployment goes up. Our wages go down or stagnant. Every single fucking time. And the Democrats get in there and they clean that shit up. And they turn us around. And they create jobs. And they create wages. They lower unemployment every single fucking time. So don't come at me that it doesn't matter. That it doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference. It makes a fucking difference. Since 89? I always forget if it's 89 or 99. I think it's since 1989, we've had, I think, was it 3 Republican administrations and 3 Democratic administrations? There's been 51 million jobs created, 50 of those under Democratic administrations, 1 million under Republican. If that doesn't tell you the story, that tells you everything right there. If you don't get that, then my God, there's no hope for us if people don't understand that, if they don't see that. Just that alone. It does matter. It does make a difference who the president is. It makes a huge fucking difference. And we're about to find out. Firsthand here. Again, it's not like this has never happened before. It happens like every 4 or 8 years. You know? I'm just looking at the chat. I was ranting. If I miss a lot of your chats, don't say, don't take it personal. I can't read them all. You know what I mean? Big Dog says they're too dumb to hold 2 thoughts at once. Jenny Pie concepts. Yeah. Michael Reich, man in the street, show me the outtakes. Yeah, we'll go to Kimmel. I don't know. Don Russell says the fact that once the Republican Brown was put in the Senate, it was almost impossible to get much done. Heck of a job, Brownie. Heck of a job. Diane Russell says, remember the Republicans held the Senate and all they did was obstruct. Remember when McConnell said he wanted to make Obama? Yep, I sure do. I sure do. Nick Rich gifted a Trucker John membership. Thank you, Nick, for doing that. I do appreciate you. That does help to support the show. And it's always fun to see who gets it. And Sanji got that. I remember Sanji. Thank you, Rich, for doing that. WW says, "Hey, Janny Pie, I've been around. Trucker John doesn't like me. He blocks me all the time. I do not. You're here, aren't you? If I blocked you, you wouldn't be here." Surfer Norm's here. A surfer says, "How about calling the audience truckers better than trucklers?" Also, I personally think many young voters went to chump. Young voter went to chump. I guess there's supposed to be some punctuation there. And I personally think many young voters went to chump. Talking about Trump, young voters because they have no history. Few young voters know left from right. I don't know if any of that's true. When I was a young voter, I knew the difference between left and right. When I was 18, I voted for Jimmy Carter. I didn't fall for that Ronald Reagan bullshit. In 1976, when he dropped out of the election, I was in the back seat of our car, and I said, I was laughing. I just said, Ronald Reagan's a clown. My mom laughed. She thought that was funny. I was, 15 at the time or whatever. But I guess things are different now. That was a long time ago. Maybe things are different now because, like I say, they're just playing too many video games or something. I don't know. But I think it cuts across all generations, whether it's playing video games or watching old reruns of That's My Mama or whatever, or The Golden Girls, rather than taking 15 minutes to watch or find something that would let you know what's going on with the current presidential campaign. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you could skip an episode of The Golden Girls one day a week. Maybe watch something that had good information. You're not watching Fox News, trying to find something objective, with objective reporting. Maybe read a paper that has some kind of objective reporting. I know it gets harder and harder as these outlets keep getting bought up by right-wing billionaires, but I mean, my God, at least make an effort. At least make a fucking effort. Mark Longo says, I'd really like to believe the election interference theory, but we need proof, and we can stand up in court of law. There was, talking about this election here, I mean, we do know there were bomb threats in a bunch of cities that were mainly Democratic areas, and that those calls came from Russia. I think that's been established. I guess what I haven't heard is how much that affected the vote and how many people that kept away from voting. And we do know about purging voter rolls, but we don't know how many were actual eligible voters and how many of those voters were just people who either died or just moved away to another district and needed to re-register. Because when you move from state to state or from even within state, but if you're in a different voting district, I mean, I think you have to re-register. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know, and you're right. We need to get the facts, but it would be nice if we can get those. Well, I mean, it's not like those are going to change the election. The election's in, that's not going to change. But it would be nice to know what happened so that we can try to prevent these things from happening in the future. But yeah, I mean, just having speculation isn't going to really do anything. You're right. You're right about that. WW better. I was attacked about it all last year. I'm mid-thread, and I've skipped down in the chat, because I'm so far behind. I'm like 20 minutes behind. So I've skipped down a lot in the chat. So let's see. Michael Reich says, what did you think? Joe was going to piss a lifetime of senatorial treachery away. Whatever that's about. David Windler, WW. We had to back out. See, I'm mid-thread here. Jim Edelberg, apparently the DNC had internal polling showing he would lose to a 400-plus Trump EC victory. He would lose to a 400-plus Trump Electoral College victory. Huh. I've never heard of that. This is the first time I'm hearing that. I kept saying it felt like 2016. Well, it definitely felt like 2016 on the election night. Election night to me, it was just like, oh no, not again, not again. The American people are letting me down once again, and and it's not just about letting me down, but it's letting down my kids. It's letting down our future generations. You know, and this isn't going to just hurt maggots or whatever. This is going to hurt everybody. Oliver Brownlow, Biden was always the opponent Trump was afraid of the most. Yeah. Christina Weibel, President Biden brokered a ceasefire in Israel. Now, I've been hearing about a ceasefire with Hezbollah, but I haven't heard about any ceasefires with Hamas. If you're talking about like today or whatever. Hedge Enemy says the American people are fucking dumb as rocks. Some of them are. Some of them are like me that are just as dumb as a lampshade, which I think is not quite as dumb as a rock. And of course, most of the people in this chat are very intelligent. So there are exceptions. Big Dog says they get angry at you for pointing out the lie and then they justify what he says. Sehal says, Nick Rich, I made $3K on Doge, sold that shit as soon as it spiked. Jenny Pie says, if it ever comes to that point, Denise, please start GoFundMe. I'm mid-thread, guys. I'm mid-thread. I don't know what a lot of the stuff is going on here. That's what I get for going mid-thread. Mary T says there's an argument that the U.S. has to take this medicine so that you don't end up with a cycle of authoritarians as rulers. Do you guys hear that? Someone's got a fucking saw going again. At 4:24 p.m., they're going to start running a fucking power tool. Jesus Christ. Anyhow, I'm really hopeful and hoping that this will wake up the American voters, and especially the Democrats and those that vote for Democrats or lean Democratic. Talking about the independents, the unaffiliated who lean left or lean Democratic. I'm really, really hoping this wakes people the fuck up in 2026 and we have that big, huge blue wave. We got to get that. We got to get the Congress back in 2026. And if this doesn't wake people up, nothing will. Nothing will. Okay, I'm skipping down in the chat here. I know I'm mid-thread of a lot of conversations. Janny Pie says, we must beat, I guess, the a-holes at their own game and support each other. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Fuck them. I absolutely agree. We need to support each other. And I keep saying that. I've been ending most of my shows like that, of how we, in this chat room, and all of us, across America, we need to get through this by supporting one another and lifting each other up and getting us to get to 2026 or whatever, and to get through whatever hardships are going to be on the way, because there's going to be many. I believe that. Oliver Brownlow, dumb people aren't going to find a way to understand or communicate with you because they're too dumb. It's your responsibility if you're the smart one. I think there's a lot of dumb people. I think a lot of maggots are dumb. But I do think there's a difference between being dumb and being ignorant. And I think with ignorance, there's a chance to, inform and enlighten and educate. But if you're just dumb, you're just dumb. I'm skipping down here. I'll be mid-thread. I'm going to be in mid-thread. WW says, absolutely, the most powerful person on earth doesn't have the power to change things immediately. It won't happen fast. But there's going to be some things that will happen fast. Brad McEwen says the election cemented into place being out socially is dead. I'm done with chance meetings of effing cult assholes. Michael Reich at Kimchi. That's why I keep telling folks that cops are better than soldiers. Cops have negotiation training. Soldiers have orders. Yeah, and I think we saw, a lot of cops coming home from war that were, that served in the military, and I think we've had that might be some of the problems we've had with shootings, officer involved shootings. I think I don't mean to paint with a broad brush or whatever, but I think some of those incidences may be related to that, where a cop kind of might have went into, neighborhood clearing mode from Iraq or something. You know what I mean? And when they're in a U.S. city and they're not in Iraq anymore. But I don't know. I might be just talking out my ass. I don't know. I'm scrolling down, mid thread. We're going mid thread. Denise Wilkins says, eat tacos or meatballs and spaghetti. Do what feels good because you deserve to feel good about yourself. Absolutely. You don't want to have turkey? You get you some of them turkey tacos. WW Nick Rich, by the reactions to Trump's lunacy, the people who like him see it as a joke that he is eating the cats. He doesn't believe that. Brad McEwen, I can't believe all the Dems that didn't vote. No excuse. Yeah, I don't get that either. Like I've said before, I thought Kamala Harris would get at least as many votes as Joe Biden. I even went out on a limb and I even said a few times on these little live stream airwaves here that she was going to get, that not only was she going to beat Trump by 8 million votes, like about 8 million votes, like Biden did, she was going to beat him by 16 million votes. That's what I said. And boy, do I feel like an idiot. Talk about stupid. Talk about being dumb and stupid. Boy, do I feel dumb and stupid. I said that Kamala Harris was not only going to beat Trump by 8 million like Biden did, she was going to beat him by 16 million. I said that. And I said it more than once on the live stream. I even said it on Liberal Dan's show, when I was on Liberal Dan's show. I said that. And it's embarrassing me to just repeat that. But that's how different those campaigns looked. Like I've said earlier, I've been saying this. Trump's campaign looked dead. It looked dead in the water. It looked hideous. It looked pathetic. Trump looked pathetic. His crowds looked pathetic. The people he brought on were pathetic. They were saying awful, horrible, pathetic things. And the Kamala Harris rallies and Tim Walz were the most exciting, electrified, enthusiastic, joyful things I've ever seen in a campaign rally. I've never seen anything like that, even more than Obama. More so than Obama. And that's why I made that bold prediction. I made the bold prediction that she would be, just in the popular vote, and I was confident that this would translate into battleground states. And, I never did put a number on the electoral college count. But I figured if she was going to beat Trump by 16 million votes, the EC would be no problem. It would be a landslide over there, but as well. But that was based on the feels. That was not based on polling. the polling, I believe, had Kamala Harris ahead, above the margin of error. Like I think she went up by 5 points or something in a lot of the polls. So I was feeling really, really confident going into election night, and I made the bold prediction she would beat him in the popular vote by 16 million votes. As it turns out, that didn't happen. But the separation is, I think, a couple million votes or something. Just barely a little over 1% difference. Not a mandate, folks. Not a mandate. Ichabod Deer. Hey, Ichabod. Here's it says Metallica says nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Krista says my only consolation is that these people are going to have to take a seat at the table and take a bite of this shit sandwich they made for us all. Yeah, they will, but my fear is that somehow they will, as they're eating that shit sandwich, they're going to blame it on Biden, and they're going to blame it on Democrats. Number one, because they're stupid. Number two, because they're ignorant. And number three, because they can't admit they're wrong. It can't possibly be Trump that served us this shit sandwich. He would not do that. No. It must be Kamala Harris, who isn't even won't even be in politics next year, and neither will Joe Biden, for that matter. Big Dog says the gaslight people. They gaslight people because they have zero memory. Our memories are way too short. People barely even remember the pandemic. That's kind of why I still wear these vaccinated T-shirts with Randy Rhodes' logo on it. Thank you, Randy Rhodes. To be a constant reminder that we just went through a pandemic and just got out of it 2 years ago. There are people that act like it never even happened. Talk about your revisionist history. Big Dog says when their daughter has a miscarriage and can't get health care, at least the gas used to go to their funeral will be cheap. That is just too sad to even think about. Ichabod Deer says GM stock crashed 9% today, down $5 because of Trump's announced 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Yeah. If you're going to buy a new car, if you had plans on buying a new car, I would do that before New Year's Eve. I mean, because, I mean, if you can find one that's made in the USA, but how do they? I mean, a lot of those parts that go in the cars that are made in the USA are from, well, I don't think from Canada, but he's going to put tariffs on China. I heard him say he wanted to put 60% tariffs on China. How much of the parts come from China? How much comes from Korea or I guess South Korea? How many come from even Mexico? A lot of parts are manufactured in Mexico. A lot of the assembly goes on in Mexico. But there are plants here in the United States. How will tariffs affect those? Depending on how much of the parts from those cars are made in some of these tariff countries. For some reason, really dry here. So I'm just saying it might be a good idea if you were planning on buying a new car next year. You might want to step up your timeline there. Jenny Pie says we're going to see so many changes, good and bad. One thing I do know is this fight is not over. I'm not sure what we're going to see there. I'm not sure how many good changes we're going to see. Hey, Jeremy, they're too dumb to hold one thought. Oh, didn't you already say that? WW, think You don't know many hardworking lower class people. Mid thread. I don't know who you're talking to. I hope you're not talking to me. Janelle Walker. Not Jenny. There's Jenny Pie and there's Janelle Walker. Janelle, and who's addressing Jenny Pie, says they think we are sore losers and we should just get over it, even though they don't know who they voted for and don't understand what is going to happen. Yeah, and then all that get over it bullshit. They sure didn't get over it when Trump lost, did they? They were crying about it the whole 4 years. Brad McEwen says, "Come on, triple cheeseburger, double bacon, extra butter on white poison bread, dirt nap." Kimchi says, "Still not going back. $10 of removable dry erase paper and some markers over an old sign." Okay, I'm scrolling down again here. Denise says, well, that's not what they're going to be doing. Congressional investigations they want to look into who killed JFK. I know. Really? Don't we have more important things to do? Okay, talk about moving on. I've moved on. I have moved on. Unless there's something about it that is pertinent to today, I have moved on with the JFK assassination. May he rest in peace. JFK, may you rest in peace, but I don't give a fuck anymore. We're over it. Butterflies are free. It says, hello, Trucker John and chat. Happy Thanksgiving Day, everyone. We're almost there. We're not quite to Thanksgiving Day, but thank you, Butterflies are free. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us on this sort of pre-Thanksgiving time here. Denise Wilkin, I'm using microphone. Okay. Hopefully mine is still on. I see I have a green light, so I'm very conscientious of that. I don't want to be giving you some of my words of wisdom and then my mic's not working. So WW says my trolls already know that, but they don't see any. Midas Kevin Anderson says, I got 1 million of them, Janny. I don't know. I'm mid-thread. Diane Russell, you're not alone. Hegemony, the American people let themselves and the whole world down. But hopefully we can make up for it in 2026. Come on, let's do it. Can we do it? Are you guys behind me? Who's behind me in 2026? Who's behind me? Or in front of me? I don't care. But come on, man. Come on, man. Let's get ready for 2026. Let's do this. Let's do this, man. Butterflies are free. Says it's so hard to fight the lies, like when the Hitler reference, they sort of laughed it off or just got angry. We know it's true. Hell, I knew once he came down the elevator, my family laughed at me. Wow, going way back then. Nick Rich says, you're having a problem laughing at yourself. I'd gladly do it for you, Groucho. WW says, Biden told Xi and Xi told Putin that we knew. I don't know. I'm mid-thread. Krista says, apathy won this election. I think so, because I think that's a good point. Because, like I said, why didn't Kamala Harris get at least as many votes as Joe Biden? At least. Hegemony makes no fucking sense at all. WW says Putin already knew that we knew. He knew that we knew that he knew. I don't know. All right, I'm going on down here. Hey, Barbara Lanacki's here. Absolutely, Trucker John. Thank you, Barbara, for being here. Michael Arangelski's here. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Says, well, we can enjoy Thanksgiving, and I'm not even thinking about politics while I drink from the gravy bowl. Me too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go see my kids, my adult children. I have to say that because when I say kids, sometimes I think people think that I'm going to see my 5-year-old and 8-year-old or something. Or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to see my adult children, and I'm looking forward to it. And we're not really a family that sits around and talks about politics all that much. anyhow. So we're just going to have a good time. We're going to eat food and eat pies and, feel bloated or whatever. That's what we're going to do. Barbara Lankey says, vaccinate while you still can. That's a good idea. In fact, I'm not sure if I have the latest booster. I meant to go look it up and see if I think another one came out that I haven't got yet. So I should look that up and take care of that. Krista says they're already starting to turn on each other. Yeah, the Republicans. Let them fight. Like, who was it saying that the other day? Let them fight. Just let them fight, man. I agree wholeheartedly. Walter Makarovich says, Trucker John, you didn't take into account Joe Rogan podcast, Logan Paul podcast, and millions of fools following them, not knowing those podcasts are full of shit. That's true. I mean, that Joe fucking Rogan, I don't know about Logan Paul. Well, I don't listen. I don't even listen to Joe Rogan, but I've seen clips here and there, and Joe Rogan was the motivation for me to end my they have like a premium subscription with Spotify, so you can listen without getting commercials. It was $9.99 a month. As soon as they signed Rogan to that big, huge contract back, what was it, 3 years ago or whatever, I canceled my, I guess you call it a subscription or whatever. I canceled it, and I put that money right into the House Sparks. Became a member. Right, that's when I became a member. Because I didn't want to be a part of that, of paying for Joe Rogan's exorbitant salary when he was just a person that was disseminating dangerously false information. At the time, a lot of, anti-vax stuff and misinformation about COVID and all of that. And so I didn't want to be a part of that. And then that's when I became an official sparkler. Butterflies are free. Yep, they will blame it on Biden. They're all narcissists. Mark Longo says, if Trump hadn't fumbled the COVID response so badly, he probably would have won in 2020. And now nobody seems to care. That's probably true. Mark Longo, you're probably right. But if he hadn't bungled it, he wouldn't be Donald Trump, because Donald Trump bungles everything. Donald Trump is the guy who bankrupted a casino. And he's the guy they want running the country. The guy who bankrupted a casino. The guy who was ordered, by a court that he and his family could not have anything to do with charities anymore because they kept robbing from the charities. That's who the American people want to run this country. And I could go on and on and on and on with these, but my God, people. My God. Michael Arangelski, I'm going to join the Gravy Sills and go on special deployment. Kimchi says, stop trying to speak truth to the willfully deaf. If you agree that Trump is a fascist, we need to form a resistance. Ignore the ignorant who will turn you in. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for Viva la Resistance! Viva la Resistance! WW says, I think that Congress has certain control over tariffs. They haven't made my car yet, and it is going to be made in Mexico. Trump says he's going to do it through executive order. I'm not exactly sure if you could do a tariff with executive order. I think it does have to go through Congress. I think you're right, W. Come to think of it. And we can only hope that cooler heads will prevail or something, I guess. Jenny Pie, it's the one day of the year I slather gravy on everything. Ichabod Deer, not before New Year, before inauguration. Okay, yeah, well, that's true. That gives you an extra couple weeks, I guess. An extra almost 3 weeks. Michael Reich says we piss away an extremely rare chemical compound just to drive to a job we hate daily, and we designed our cities around this practice. Well, I think a lot of it also, people commute because they find cheaper housing. You know, WW. I'm not excited about 2026. My rep is dim. My senators too. Well, you should do everything you can to reelect them. Make sure those seats don't get flipped. Big Dog NC says, tip for saving money this Christmas: just bring up politics at Thanksgiving dinner. There you go. That's an excellent idea, because you'll piss off so many people. They'll be like, I'm not buying you. I guess I don't have to buy you anything now. Richard, hey, there's Richard from Australia, right? Richard here says America is now stuck with dictator Trump for 4 years. Yuck. Yeah, either him or we're going to end it with Vance. Okay, I'm mid-thread here, so I'm trying to find something that's not quite mid-thready. Bobby Hansen, I'm on Bookface and YouTube. Enough for me. I guess Bookface is actually the other thing, but for some reason doesn't want to say that. Mad Mac, that is why I will not pay for Spotify 2. Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, about Rogan. Nick Rich, what's your Blue Sky handle, Wes? Mine is Trucker John 3, right? I don't care about Wes's. But mine, I think mine's Trucker John 3. You want to go on there and give me a follow over there on Blue Sky? Christina Weibel says, I've been nice, but now I get told to piss off. Well, that's not nice. WW says there were so many ideas about how to handle COVID-19. The known truth is usually the best place to start, and the White House withheld it. They had a pandemic response book right there, and they threw it out because they didn't like that it came from the Obama administration. And Obama administration, they handled Ebola. They had some experience in handling some of that shit. Kimchi says, sorry, my sister just called to say hello. She says she is fine. What she actually meant, but no one in my family was taught to say, is thanks. I just got tingles over here. Aw. Bobby Hansen says the Kool-Aid must be delicious. Aaron is reminding everyone be nice to each other. I've been skipping down, so I'm not seeing all that's going on. So that's thanks, Aaron, for being my extra set of eyes, because I'm not seeing it all. Sometimes I go on my little rants and I'm not going to see everything. Rosanna says, Diane, I refused a Thanksgiving invitation and I will be alone instead, laughing out loud. Hey, you know what? If alone, hey, I don't mind being alone, other than the fact that I want to go see my kids and I miss my kids. But if it wasn't for that, I would watch football. I would eat pizza. I would drink beer. If I drank too much beer, I might Uber over to the theater and watch a movie. I'm not one. I'm really not one that always needs to have people around. I can make my own fun. But like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing my kids. If it wasn't for my kids, I would just stay home and do what I just said, what I just talked about. I don't need all that shit, really. Hey, Mike H is here, cranking up Truckers Rod. Hey, Mike H. Haven't seen you in a while, so thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the old Driver's Lounge. Good to see you. WW, I've told you all about that. I'm mid-thread. Diane Russell, Nori Krista, he's not looking very healthy, too much makeup. Have you seen, I'm assuming you're talking about Trump. I'm not wearing any makeup, but I look like shit anyhow. But did you see these pictures of Trump? Did you see that one? Was it on Boston Brian? I thought it was like, now this might make me sound racist, I don't know. But in a certain angle, I thought it was like a Chinese version of Trump or something. It was weird. Not that Chinese people are weird. I don't mean to say that. But obviously Trump's not Chinese, so that's why it was weird. It looked weird. Like he looked. Okay, I don't want to get racist, but I don't want to sound racist. I love Chinese people. Okay, but I thought it was like a Chinese version of Trump. It was weird. And then you saw this weird makeup. Yeah, and people look up to that. I don't get that, man. I don't get it. Hey, it looks like we got a. Oh, look at all the fan funding. We got that $2 one. We got non-useful $5. I don't vote for Hitler 2.0 t-shirts on sale at Amazon. I didn't vote for Hitler. Yeah, that would be a good t-shirt to get, maybe. I don't know. Oops. But thanks for the super chats, guys. That's awesome. Thanks for supporting the show and doing that. Bad Mac, the Lord of Flies will not make it past the first year. The Lord of the Lies, not flies, will not make it past the first year. I don't know. I'm not making predictions. You know, you never know when your number's up. And I mean, there are people that smoke, 3 packs a day since they were 13 and they live to be 110, and then there are health nuts that don't smoke and don't drink and they exercise and they run and they eat, they're vegetarians or vegans or whatever, and they die at 55. So I mean, you just don't know. He's gonna go when he goes. That's the one thing that we do know, is that no one gets out of here alive. No one. And someday he's gonna go. Now, whether it's when he's during this term, who knows? Who knows? Whether he lives to be in his 90s, could happen. There are people with terrible health habits that do live to be old. So who knows? I'm not going to count on that. I'm just counting on us getting our shit together and voting them out and voting us in. And by us, I mean Democrats. I'm a lifelong Democrat, folks. Lifelong Democrat. Jolie's got my link to Blue Sky. There it is. Right there. Thank you, Jolie. If you want to go over there, give me a follow. I'm up to 800 and something. I still need to get that damn haircut of mine. Look at I hate it when my hair just sticks out. Anyhow. Definitely need a haircut. Richard says, I remember Trump recommended taking disinfectants. Yeah, he was just insane gibberish of Jolie says, follow Trucker John at W. People can find you that way. Yeah, follow me and then you can find W. Pat Ludwig says, alone rocks, no bullshit. Yeah. I mean, you do you, boo. Bobby Hansen says, I have 3 cats and 3 dogs. I'm never alone. There you go. WW says, we had a Pepsi bottler in the church, got it free, never liked Pepsi near as much as Coke. I like them both. I like them both equally. I've been going to this place. I think it's called Pops or something like that. I've never seen it before. I don't know if you guys have one, or I don't know how widespread they are, but it's called Pop. I think it's called Pops or something like that. And basically, what it is, it's all just you just the menu is all just where you can make your. Apparently, they probably have one of those. You've probably seen them at Target or something where you can make your own sodas. I guess that's what I imagine. They just have that back in their little kitchen thing. But you can make. They have all these different flavors, and you can get make like a cola based one, or they have a Mountain Dew based one, or whatever. And you could add all these flavors, and it's right next to a new charging station in Henderson. And I've been going over there to charge my car. So every night when I go there to charge, I get me a new. I've been going through their menu one by one and to try out all their different flavors. And so far, they're all pretty good, I would say, but definitely some are better than others. Just thought I'd share that. All right. So, anyhow, guys, I've just been babbling and for a little bit here. Um, it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm probably going to end the show pretty quickly. And speaking of Ubering, going out and doing some Uber driving tonight here in beautiful Las Vegas. I'll try not to get shot. I was talking about that this morning. Uber driver got shot, killed. I think that was last night. It was either last night or 2 nights ago, but I just saw the news report on it like this morning. So I'll try for that not to happen, not to happen to me. Nick Rich, happy 77th birthday this year. Oh, Richard is turning 77, I guess. Well, yeah, happy early birthday to you. Non-useful $5 super chat. We're going to have another 4 years where Satan decorates the White House in red and black. I know. That's another thing. Now we got Melania again with her fucking. And I suppose I don't know if Jill Biden, I think she went and replanted like roses and stuff. I guess that's all going to get ripped out. No roses here. Melania, she'd rather have, I guess, just rocks or something. I don't know what the fuck she does, but yeah. Rosanna, 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, Rosanna. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Rosanna says, thanks for hanging out with us. Being part of this community is fun, and you covered a peace and love to all. Thank you, Rosanna. And like I've said, let's all try to just get each other through these next 4 years. We're going to need each other more now than ever, really. I mean, we went through this in 2016, but it could be potentially worse if Project 2025, if they're able to do a bunch of that stuff, and they're gonna, it's just on and on and on. But so yeah, we need to be here for each other. I'm hoping that my little channel can be one of the outlets where people can at least maybe take your mind off stuff for a little bit, or at least get some comfort in having a lot of like-minded people here. And there's a lot of folks that have good ideas, I think, and who bring up good points, things that I didn't think about, and that's kind of a good thing. And so I'm hoping that my channel here, the Trucker John live stream, Trucker John channel here on YouTube, there's my schedule. We've got Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Saturdays, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then we do, like today, we're doing a special one. I think tomorrow I might do another special one since we've got Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to do a show on Thanksgiving. But hopefully my show can be a place where people can hang out and maybe feel a little bit better about our chances, of getting through it. So thank you so much for being here, all of you, Rosanna and Non-Useful with the super chats, and Jolie and Aaron for modding for me, and for all of you guys, man, in the chat room here, really lifting all of us up. We're lifting each other up, and we're gonna get through it. And that's the only way we're going to get through it, I think, is if we are united in that resistance. Like, we don't have to agree exactly on everything. I know there are people in this chat room that, we don't always see eye to eye, or maybe we have some differences here and there. But in the overall, picture, I think we are pretty united. Not everyone, obviously, but I think we're pretty united in that, that Trump is a scumbag, and Trump is not good for this country, and he's not good for the world. And that we need to stand together strong and not go away. We can't go away. We've got to offer as much resistance as we can and get us to that next thing. And right now, the next thing is 2026. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini, Aaron West. I think this is a Melania impression. Fuck the Christmas. Yeah. Mike H 499 super chat. Thank you, Mike. I hope everyone's Thanksgiving goes well, and I hope yours does as well. Yeah, absolutely. Let's all have and how whatever way you do it, you do you, Boobs. Hey, Boobs, you do use. But I hope you have a good holiday, a good Thanksgiving. I'm just scrolling down here a little bit. Diane Russell says Melania destroyed that rose garden in his first term. Yeah, and then whatever. I think Jill put the. I think roses back in. So on day one, Melania is going to probably rip them back out again. Roxanne says thank you, Trucker John. Have a great Thanksgiving as well. Chris says Trucker John, we agree to disagree respectfully. Absolutely, we can do that. We can do that. Let's be open-minded, I guess, to discuss these things. Butterfly Players, thanks, Sugar John, and chat. Be safe out there. All right, guys. So, Nick Rich, way beyond hour 2. Well, we're just 3 minutes beyond. That's not way beyond it. Jenny Pay, right arm, Trucker John, thanks. Right arm? Or right on? I don't know. But, hey, yeah, I'm just going to come in here real quick before Trucker John kicks me out. Kicks me out to the old cookie bin. Yeah, I just want to say, hey, everybody, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. So I'll wish you a happy Thanksgiving again tomorrow. But if you're not around tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving coming up. And even old tough cookies can get a little mushy this time of year. Getting all family with all that family stuff. I can get a little mushy. So yeah, I just want to say hi, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll probably do. I'm not sure, Trucker John, if he's figured out what time tomorrow. But we're going to do another special Wednesday show. I'm going to insist on it. If Trucker John tries to weasel his way out of it, I'm going to put my little cookie foot down and insist. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. And I second the motion, tough cookie. I second that motion. We'll be here tomorrow. Sometime. We'll figure it out. Look for your notifications. Hit that notification bell. And we'll figure it out. But anyhow, for those of you, if we don't see you tomorrow, have a great holiday and enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. And just gorge yourself. Do it. This is the one time of year you can do it. Just do it. All right. That's all I got. All right. So, yeah, as far as tomorrow, a very special episode. Welcome to a very special episode of Trucker John. I Tomorrow, I think Hal is going to come on at his regular time, like 9 to 11. I could jump on right after Hal. I don't know if Hal is going to do an afternoon show tomorrow. I'm not sure. He normally does do Wednesday afternoon, but I think because of the holidays, he might not be. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I need to find out more about, if I need to work around Hal's schedule or not. But sometime tomorrow, it might be in the morning or it might be in the afternoon. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't think we'll do two. We'll just do one, and just to kind of make up for Thursday, because I'm not doing a show on Thursday or Friday. But we'll see you again tomorrow for sure. I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow. So if I could be any more vague, but I'll figure it out, and we'll go ahead and I'll try. I'll try to notify, or I'll try to post something in the community page as soon as I can. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been great. You've been awesome. Thanks for all of the great what they call fan funding here. We from Jim Adelberg and Nick Rich, and with the gifted membership, non-useful, with two $5 super chats. Rosanna with the $19.99 super chat. Mike H with the $4.99. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that, supporting the show, help keep us going, keep us running, keep us keep us rolling along. And couldn't do it without you guys watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, hit the share button, all that good stuff, and helping the show grow. We're at 3,560 something subscribers. That's really awesome. I really appreciate it, and couldn't do it without you. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to get through it. I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow. Not sure when, but we'll just be on the lookout. Issue a bolo for Trucker John tomorrow. And, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow sometime. I forget else what I was going to say, but you guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. And like I was going to say, we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it, but we're going to do it together. Okay, we got to do it together. All right, guys. And also, just remember, the main thing here, and don't ever forget this. I know sometimes we forget. We got short memories, but don't ever forget what I'm about to tell you. Do not forget this. You can carry this for the rest of your life. Okay, and here's what it is. It's just.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So high of Easter, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be on too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stopped a truck driving. Who am I trying to kill? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kick. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't